Hey Kelly, what's going on? I just got out of work a little bit ago, so it's actually 4:31 p.m. where I'm at, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Paydays in a few days, so who can complain? Let's see here. Cool. Personally, I recommend the Ian Daniels deck personally because it deals with just about the four levels of readings that you can do, from emotional to spiritual, mental, and even physical. And then you have the magical aspects too. So I mean, it does a lot of it. That's if you really want to get into more detail and information upon the cards that you're reading. But that's just my opinion. It's up to you, Kelly. So that's what, about 8:30, 9:30 area your time. You're welcome. Brian Foresee, what's going on? Pharaoh Stiller X, welcome back. Cool. Yeah, so you're about an hour behind me, and roughly about another 6 hours. What is it, six? Kelly, what is it, 6 hours ahead of me? I want to say England is 6 hours ahead, if I remember correctly. Mm, cool. All right. All right. The first card. Let me see if I can turn it here so you can actually see it. But it's the world. Very, very good card. Deals with a white flower. Ah, and the planetary symbol in alchemy for the planet Jupiter. That's a pretty good symbol there. Second card, the Gemini twins, deals with the Eight of Knives. Let's see if I can't get that into focus here so you can read it. And the third card, Prince of Knives. So we're definitely dealing with not only worldly things, but we're dealing with the physical applications. That's not bad. I was expecting another spiritual reading. So that's pretty cool. So we're dealing with Jupiter and between two cards, but the Eight of Knives actually has two different symbols on it. The first is the planetary symbol for Jupiter. The second symbol is the twin sign from the zodiacs. That is the Gemini symbol, the two eyes side by side for those of you who do not know. And as for the Saturn, or in this case, the Jupiter, I should say, the Jupiter aspect, the planetary symbol for Jupiter, that's the letter four, basically. If you think about it, it's either a straight line down that looks like a T, but with the H section attached to it, or it looks like the letter four with a curve sort of thing. That's an interesting symbol to see in a reading with the Gemini. But when you're dealing with the world, the color white is something of purity. So you got the serpent, the temptation. So the question is, what are you going through these days? And we know that the cats are the guardians of the underworlds, and you're dealing with the Black Panther within the world. So, and she's holding the serpent. Now, the world is the fleshly life. That is the how should I say this? It is the well, let's just say the hard knocks aspect of what you're going through. When combined with the Eight of Knives, which is the physical formulation of restriction, think of it as how should I say this? Think of it more not as being bound, but limited. Could be financial. It could be trying to move into a better apartment. It could be something that's hindering you on a personal basis. Now, the thing about Gemini is they're quick to anger. Okay, very quick to anger, and that's the symbol that you really want to look out for in this case because Gemini deals with anger, rage, and it's not just any type of rage, it's that explosive type rage, and it's something that comes out unintentionally. Kind of sounds like my teacher at work yesterday. Uh, Too bad this reading wasn't done yesterday. It would have fit her perfectly. but but yeah, the you add in Jupiter into the mix. Jupiter is classified basically the feminine aspect. If you think that Saturn deals with the god, then it would be Jupiter that is the female archetype. But when we're dealing with the world, we're also got to consider that this could be anything to do with relationships, work ethic, or even dealing with close friends. Okay, people that you consider to be friends. Perhaps they're doing something that's pissing you off, so to speak, and you bit your tongue for a certain amount of time, and all of a sudden, boom, that explosive anger. But then you have the Prince of Knives holding a white and red flower, a rose to be precise. He is the nobility factor. A lot of times when you see this card, it's dealing with royalty. Okay. Now the prince, be it either the prince, the princess, the queen, the king, or if you have that tarot card deck that has a page or a knight, you know, these are considered to be high level people, okay? Esteemed people. well dressed, well fancied, well spoken, when they present themselves, they're straightforward, they're cunning, but they know how to play the game, even though they can play stupid, so to speak. So in this case, we're definitely dealing with knives, two knives in the world. So here, you really want to take a look at your life and what you're going through. The reason for that is you've got the stalker, but you've also got the venom or the poisoner in your life. The feminine archetype here, would be Lady Lilith. The feminine aspect, the woman, be it if you're in the biblical aspects, it would be like Eve. If you go back to pre Bible days, that would be Lilith, Adam's first wife. But you know, who's counting, right? So, anyways, the serpent represents the temptation. It is the forbidden fruit. You will not die, but you will live, so to speak. The word gnosis means hidden. Okay. The serpent represents all things cunning. It represents all things that of knowing the things that you don't know. So, like Eve, you may want to listen and kind of take that bite of that forbidden fruit. Because on one hand, you have the serpent, but walking next to you is your familiar. Okay. Think of it as your guardian, animal spirit. Okay. Cats, like I said, they're highly loyal. They're considered to be guardians. They're considered to be protectors, and they can also be a witch's aid. Okay, so if you're doing some form of sorcery, you may want to pay attention to that aspect. Okay, but as for the Eight of Knives, that is the key that can either is going on right now. As we know, all the retrogrades are getting ready to go bye bye. Okay, Mercury retrograde is going bye bye. And you're getting ready to go into something else. All that frustration, all that rage, all that pent up tension, if you wish. Now would be a perfect time to release it, so to speak. Okay, begin the healing process, the recovering. But you may want to do this away from society. The reason for that is because of the fact that if you're at work and you have one of those moments of somebody rubs you the wrong way and you have that outburst, you're putting your job at risk. If you're at home, you could have that outburst that just sends shivers and fear down your partner's spine. You really don't want to terrify them. So, if you're a Gemini, this goes triple for you, okay? Listen to this. Geminis, because of your nature, and believe me, you know what I'm talking about. Don't play stupid, okay? You may want to step away and take a breather, okay? Collect yourself in a calm, fashionable manner, okay? Think of it as royalty, okay? If you take a prince, king, you're not going to see one of these royal members of a family having a pom pom meltdown in the middle of a street. No, that won't happen. They will go up, they will say one thing, they will keep a straight face, they will say one thing, but yet later on, they're going to do something else. Okay? That's what you need to be contemplating on. Is it worth losing your temper and letting yourself go in public around people, be it your family, your friends, hell, even your coworkers? Okay? You really don't want to do that, especially in front of your coworkers, because it could cost you your job. In this case, it's something that you enjoy. You got the purity aspect, but yet, wait for it. What does the color red represent? Passion, desire, rage. Put that with purity, what do you get? Just saying. So, when you put these three together, you see something that is very, very interesting. Now, what's also interesting is in the world, you've also got a scepter in the background. Now, a scepter, it, it's not really a scepter, it's more or less roughly about 8 stars. Okay? When you look into astrology, what astrological symbol in the night sky has 8 symbols? I'll let you do that little Google search because I think you'll find it very, very interesting. The dark moon or the black sun, I should say. Instead of having a regular sun out in the open, you're dealing with the nocturnal aspect. So you may want to get into demonology. Okay, think of the black sun. What does it represent? It's another form of the earth. Okay, it's another form of the earth. So again, you're dealing with the physical plane of existence. Everything about this reading is about physical. It is about the nature of this realm, this dimension, this very existence. So look at what you're doing. Look at what you need to be doing. How do you get from point A to point B? Okay. And this week is about this. Look at where you need to be and what you want. Where do you want to be? Okay. What is it that is keeping you down? Okay. Start at that point. What is keeping you down? From there, how do I get past this? How do I begin the physical road to recovery? Be it financial, be it healing, be it emotional stability. Perhaps it's mental balance. Either way, you may want to look into this. But how do you do it? How do you go about it? Are you going to be one who gets into meditation, reflection? Are you going to petition the gods for guidance? Perhaps you're one of those types that will sit down, say, okay, this is where I'm at now. This is what's going on in my life. I want to be over here. This is where I want to be. So now I've got this timeline right in between certain intervals. Okay. Look at it. All right. So I know I'm here today. Let's go here. These are the topics that I am dealing with. From there, make a plan. Pick one topic. All right. Let's say, for example, you're in financial distress. Get a job, right? So start looking around for other jobs. Start looking around for a better job, maybe something quick until you can get the job that you're looking for. It's not ideal, but it will get you through. Okay. So just like that, it may be, like I said, emotional, physical, even. So you may want to get into counseling if it's mental or emotional distress. Therefore, this will actually help you gain better insight about the triggers that set you off. Okay. One of the things I had with a brother of mine is because he was a Gemini, is a lot of things set him off. Okay, and I'm talking a lot of things. He had issue with this, and this, but then he was like, I don't know how to get past this. Well, that's where reflection comes in. That's where drawing a physical diagram will help you. What do you mean by that, Kelly? Is it the flow? What do you mean by that last comment? So, anyways, look at what you're going through. Make a diagram, put down everything that you're dealing with. Okay. Then, on the other aspect, look at where you want to be. Then make that plan. Pick one topic, deal with it. So, let's say for an example, you're trying to pay off a car payment of say 5,000. You have a house payment that you owe the bank of say 1,000. You have bills that, like, let's say you're a big gamer. I know a lot of people today online are into gaming. I have a coworker who's heavily into gaming. So let's look at this. Let's say, for example, you racked up a bill of, say, $857. Your credit score is so low that you can't be approved for anything. So, because all of this is physical, you pick the one topic. Let's say, for example, the game. You know, the gaming thing. Like you went to GameStop or some kind of video game store. And you got their credit card. You raked up that bill. So let's say, for an example, you look at your pay. This is what I can put forth on a weekly basis. I get paid weekly. This is what I can put out safely. Okay, good. But let's say, for an example, they say you can do this on a monthly basis. One payment every month with interest until it's paid off. Okay. So if I'm making 300 and say $72 per week, that's and I live off, say, oh, I don't know, let's say one $100. Okay. $100 I can live for an entire week. Okay. Not too much. Yeah, especially if you're single. But if you have codependents, better half, children, then let's bump it up to say 200. 200 for the entire week, or at least 185. Okay. Your better half has a job as well. They can also help. Okay. But let's say, for an example, it's just you. So here it is. You can easily put $100 away, $100 towards that bill per week, and knock that down within 2 months. 2 months. And then you can look at it and go, okay, my next bill is this. It's my car payment. I got to put this through monthly. I owe the bank this monthly. So, like I said, if you get a full time job, which most people do, you're raking in roughly about $700, if not more. Okay. Now, as a friend of mine so colorfully put it, he's raking in, if he picks up other shifts, he's literally raking in over $3,000 a week, biweekly. So, therefore, you could easily put 1,000 down on that car payment. You could easily pay that gaming bill completely off and still live comfortably each week. If you own your own home, guess what? You just pay the excess tax, the land tax, and whatever else is needed for that property. That's normally anywhere between 2 to 400. Everything else goes towards food and your family. Boom, knock it down. Okay, and that's what I'm talking about by getting that timeline. Because when you see what's going on in your life, it's different from knowing. You see, you can know what you have, you can know what you got to do, but it's a whole nother story when you physically see it. That verbal versus auditory, visual versus auditory. Okay, that's the term I wanted to go with. Verbal, visual, visual, audio. Two different things. And right here, you know what you got to do. You know what you got going on in your life. Someone right here said, plain and simple, got a lot of stuff going on. Okay? I'm going through a lot right now. All right? Meditate, reflect, make a diagram, and go from there. All right? And with that said, have a good night, and until next time.